Good evening there. Well, we had a very eventful week, didn't we not? Very strong winds, that was the main feature. And Thursday especially, as we more or less said, there were very strong winds, although, you know, like 5 days out from the day in question. I didn't necessarily get into the very nitty-gritty of what was going to happen on Thursday because, you know, that far out, a little bit hard to tell, but yeah, there were certainly looking like there were going to be very strong winds over the country, and there was. Inland North Canterbury especially, very strong winds there and a lot of destruction as well. Culverton and Hamner Springs. Now the map I produced last Sunday for Thursday, there was a low pressure system right about there, and there was a sting in the tail for Southland, so very strong winds ended up coming through there too, from the west-southwest, I believe. Very cool footage from Matthew Davison and Jeff Mackley. You guys chased up in inland North Canterbury there. Thank you very much, Matthew, for posting that to our page. And there were thunderstorms, were there not? That's the whole reason I do this thing. Mainly I talk about thunderstorms. Yes, there's strong winds, yes, there's snow, but I like thunderstorms. That's where it's at. And there were thunderstorms. They were happening in the Alps, and yes, they spilled over into Canterbury with that front on Thursday. In fact, they spilled so far eastwards that they ended up getting right into, you know, the likes of Christchurch, well, anywhere from Timaru to Christchurch, up through into Kaikoura maybe, even you might have got some lightning. So yeah, it really spread quite far east. It just goes to show the strength of that, the winds in the atmosphere, really pushing that stuff through. Let's move forward. Okay, this is tomorrow. Not as eventful as Thursday. But anyway, there are a few thunderstorm chances in here. And actually, there is something coming up on Monday. So we'll get to that in a second. So yes, here is Sunday, tomorrow. Okay, the west coast. In the morning on Sunday, there is a front pushing northwards. There is a slim chance there could be some thunder as that moves through. This map 1 PM, it's up about here, around about Buller. Then, early to mid-afternoon, there is some instability developing for Otago. Maybe South Canterbury, but more Otago. Instability there, could be thunderstorms, could be some hail into the afternoon. Then let us spin around because there's a front there, a cold front moving in, and that sort of pushes into the west coast later on Sunday, overnight into Monday, moves up there. There could be some instability with that, not a great chance, but there is. Now let's go to Monday where things really develop. It's actually to do with a low pressure system forming here. It sort of drifts in from the Tasman Sea and it connects up with that front. So yeah, let's go to Monday where everything deteriorates quite massively. Boom. There we go. Okay, that low pressure system deepens fairly rapidly, moving in from the Tasman Sea. Very strong upper level northwesterly winds, and there is a very cold undercutting southerly airflow. So, warm advection snowfall. That's going to be something to watch. For Canterbury, okay, you've had the strong winds and the thunderstorms. Now it is time for the snow. Yes, and it could actually get, you know, lowish, like 400, maybe 300 metres. Sometimes these things can throw a curveball and you can even get lower. I do remember 1 October a few years ago now, where it snowed right over Canterbury all the way down to sea level. I'm not saying that will happen, but yeah, the snow level could be low-ish. Something to watch on Monday. Lambs, new stock, all the spring growth. Yeah, something to watch. It's growth in terms of animals. Okay, no thunderstorms really at this stage yet. But there is an injection of moisture coming in from the northwest. That's going to move into the western North Island overnight. There we go, heavy rain. There could be a bit of a ripple of instability, sort of just ahead of that front, moving into the upper North Island overnight. So it could be something thundery right there. There is still some very cold air over the South Island. There's sort of like heavy rain, you know, the strong upper northwesterly airflow. That's sort of pushed away and that low's, you know, dropped away to the like east-southeast now. But there's still some very cold air, so there could still be some snow falling to lowish levels over the central South Island there. Maybe clearing away from coastal areas a little bit. So yeah, there could be some snow to lowish levels, 400, 300 metres, but the intensity is going to back off a bit. Okay, there we go. Now, as we move to Tuesday afternoon, there's still going to be some very cold air over the South Island. Right there, still showers. And because we're like nearly November, the intensity in the sun is there, but, you know, we've got that very cold air upstairs. Therefore, there could be instability here over the central South Island into the afternoon. That could mean thunderstorms. That could mean a little bit of hail. Something to watch. There could also be some instability here. There's quite a lot of advection. That means sort of like cold air encroaching, is that the right word, into warm air. The dashed thickness lines sort of indicate that. So it could be some instability here. I'm thinking the eastern North Island more specifically. Once you go into the upper atmosphere above about sort of like 5,000 metres or maybe even a bit, 4,000 metres and above, the atmosphere sort of stabilises a little bit. So while there could be instability, clouds may not grow high enough for thunderstorms, but they could. There could be a little bit of hail there nonetheless and a few short, sharp, heavy showers moving through right there. Now there is some even colder air, or at least another cold bubble of air, up around about 5,000 metres. It's negative 32 degrees Celsius at those levels here and about here. Anyway, here's another cold bubble of air. It moves into the lower South Island on Tuesday evening, so that area could bring heavy showers, thunderstorms, maybe some hail, this southwestern corner. And then overnight it moves up the west coast. And yeah, could still be some instability as that moves through, although I think the risk is going to drop off a little bit as the night wears on. Actually, let's go back a bit because there's still some nice shower activity over the North Island here. That cold air is moving north, but it is going to sort of slowly move away to the east. This is the stuff like, we were talking about like Tuesday afternoon. It is going to slowly move away to the east. So yeah, more or less just showers. Could be still the odd heavy shower, could be some hail, just a low risk of thunder here. Sort of more lower North Island, I'd say, with that southerly airflow. Okay, let's skip forward, because I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's not really till we get to the weekend and things finally calm down. Big high pressure system over New Zealand, light winds. That's very nice, isn't it? Thursday, Friday, there could be a few fronts teasing either end of the country, but I don't think there's too much there. And yes, as we get to the weekend, next weekend, it calms down. Okay, we'll catch you again next Saturday. Cheers.